All right. Hey, everybody. Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. I don't know if you can see behind me, but you can see Sirius kind of like back there in the window. It's a really cold day out, but that sun comes in strong in that window behind us, and that is really cool. Now I'm going to move over here just a little bit because I did want you to see Sirius. Okay, so what do we got going on here? This is the week of 2452. This is how I call them. This is my last one of this year. Can you believe that? This is going to stop on the 28th. So we got 29, 30, 31, and then we go into the next year. So this will be the next one I record. It'll actually be 2501. Can you believe that? But so we're not going to really go about this as as a retrospective or anything like that. What we really want to do though is I want to focus on this week, and this week we're calling this "What to Watch Out For." That comes from one of our older videos that we used to do. We used to have Carrie charge the camera. She'd go, "What to watch out for?" And it was kind of funny all the time. It was like, just back up and then right at the camera, all in 3D, right? No, not really. It was just on the phones. All right, there we go. We got our screen sharing, and third time's the charm. You may recognize that guy right there. That is me. That is Shane. Shane Jensen, your astrologer, your personal astrologer, right? Well, personal astrologer in a way. So anyway, let's talk about this week. This is my last week, the last week of the year, right? Not the last week doing this. I've been doing this for almost 6 years. So the last week, what do we got going on here? All right, let's take a look, because I call this the holidays and holy days edition. We've got Christmas and we've got a menorah there for Hanukkah. Hanukkah begins on Wednesday, as well as Christmas Day. So let's go. Let's talk about this, because this energy is going to be very interesting, because right now on Sunday we have the moon entering Libra. And I'm calling this the all is calm phase. This is where we're just going to be able to find the joy of the season and express it through that moon coming to us in Libra, right? Libra is what? Appreciation of life, right? Good life. We've got balance, equilibrium, color. A little bit of a justice theme going on there, but don't worry about the justice part. Worry about just enjoying what it is that life has to offer. Really just taking it by the reins and doing it, right? It simplifies things, and it's going to simplify things for a couple of reasons. First of all, this is what the chart looks like for Sunday. And we can see the moon in Libra, just entering into Libra. And we can see as the moon moves towards and through Libra, we're going to be going through what we really want in Black Moon Lilith. And we're also going to be talking about the trines that it's going to be making with Neptune, Venus, and Jupiter. Now, we can already see Venus and Jupiter are in a trine relationship, and as the moon moves through Libra here, because we're right at 0 degree, as we get closer and closer towards the middle, the 15-degree mark, which is at some point both Tuesday and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right? We're going to be moving through that. The moon's going to be in very agreeable trines with both Venus and Jupiter. That's going to make things really, really nice, right? Tech gifts that we may have thought of, tokens of affection, but for larger groups, families and stuff like that. Because what we're looking at is some really unique expressions of what our affections are, and that can be for a significant other as well. It simplifies things, though. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very, very simple and very elegant, and that's all we're really asking for as we're moving through this kind of energy here. We can see that we've just got these things going on that are going to be fantastic. It's going to be really, really good, and we don't really have to argue about it, because let's think about it. You got Venus and Jupiter; they're the major benefics, right? They bring good things to us. They bring what we desire, what we wish to attract to us, and it also brings to us a chance to expand in our ability to express ourselves to each other. Now, we do have to be careful, because we do have Mars and Pluto sitting here in kind of a strange relationship to each other, a strained relationship. But we have Mercury out here in Sagittarius. It's actually sextile to Pluto and trine to Mars. So we have there's some things that are really working in our favor. And they have to work in our favor because we're going to get through this. We're going to come up to a rocky part, but really what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to focus this changing energy, this social energy that Venus is bringing about and the goodwill that Venus is creating in Aquarius. And we're going to channel that through Pluto for changing larger structures, larger things, larger areas of our life. And when we do that, we're going to find that we have one more secret little bullet right here, and that is Mercury. Rather out of with the node, but Mars is in a place where it's trine with both the North Node and Mercury. Eventually, the Moon's going to enter that position, and we're going to find ourselves really able to focus on what it is that we need to be doing with our actions, and these actions are going to be claiming sovereignty for ourselves, sovereignty. I'm going to speak about that in another minute, okay? But let's just get through this. Look, the fourth quarter moon in Libra, this is our lead into the holiday, right? Right to Christmas Eve. This is the energy to embrace and carry with you. Enjoy everything the season has to offer. That's right. There's going to be plenty of challenges to confront after this little respite here, the run up to it, including Christmas Day. But the plus side is that we're going to be in a great place to rise to the occasion afterwards, okay? That's that Mars placement that I was telling you about. We got Venus trine the moon. This is what it's going to look like. So I told you that Venus would be moving through to the 15th degree. There she is, trine the moon. There she is, trine Jupiter. That's going to happen a little bit later on. We can see the moon right here, down at the bottom, very, very close to that dark moon Lilith. That's where we desire. That's what we need. And we have it opposite Chiron up here. So basically, we've got a kite formation. We're forming towards helping each other out. We're forming towards that. The Chiron is going to be, it puts the spotlight on how it is that we help others and how we help to heal others and what it is that we can do and say and just be there for. That makes sense, right? It's all based in what we truly desire. And what we really desire is some balance. We're really trying to let go of some things. We're really trying to embrace this season of the solstice where we just let it all go. We got to let it go because whatever we have and whatever we saved up, we have working for us as we move into this new year, as we move into the new position of the North Node. That's shifting. We're going to get to that. All right. There's a series of squares, and you can kind of see them in that, right? You can kind of see all the red lines going across here. There's all sorts of these red lines. Those are squares. And essentially those squares that are coming up, that are mostly with the moon, mind you, are going to be little challenge points, right? They're going to be little points where we're like, oh, do you really want to? Oh, I don't want to do that. Yeah, we're going to be hearing a lot of that. Look, you got Mercury opposing Jupiter. You got Mercury opposing Saturn. Saturn is not Mercury opposing Saturn. Mercury square to Saturn, Saturn square to Jupiter. T-square, right? There's another T-square in there with Mars and Pluto, and then, this one here happens to be the node, but we have other T-squares that will be forming that you will see, and there's always an answer to those. They're tension, but they also have a release point, and that release point is opposite along the hypotenuse of where those T-squares tend to focus that energy, right? We focus the energy, it focuses on the one part, and then the answer is actually on the opposite part, because that's how the opposites like to play in astrology. Now, these challenges are all able to be met, but we're going to have to be able to take action to do so effectively. And that is because despite being retrograde, which Mars is forming a very important trine to the North Node, that symbol of our karmic destiny. Symbol of karmic destiny. Sounds good, right? Is it just me, or does this sound like it adds just a bit of mystique to our superhero story? It's our origin story, right? It's what we do. We have challenges to overcome before we can fully realize who and what we are and the true nature of our powers, and for that matter of fact, if we're superheroes, and truly step into our own sovereignty. And that's really what the superhero part is of this particular time of year. It's what we're doing. Think about it. Mars is the ruler of Aries. Aries is a cardinal sign. the beginning, right? That's where the north node is, right at the beginning point, that 0 point of Aries. That is like the start of the whole thing. That's where the node is. So we're going through another 18.6 year cycle of the nodes going through all the signs, beginning, oddly enough, with Pisces. But it begins at that 0 degrees of Aries. So we go 0 degrees Aries and then you go backwards. All right. So what is it that we're going to be filling in the blanks for? What is it that we're going to be doing? Our own sovereignty, however, this is going to follow the path of Mars. Mars retrograde in Leo right now. We're learning how to step into what it is that we're doing. We're not ready to fully say, da-da-da, here I am, but it's where we begin to gather our power. We're gathering our power to us. And then we're going to go into another cardinal sign, which is Cancer. And that is going to be really fantastic because really we've been through this before. This is what we've been working on for the last month, okay? And if we've gotten good at it and we made some more opportunities for us and we're starting to move forward, now we have a chance to really go and get this done. I kind of wanted to take the camera off of myself, so I had some of the good facial, good stuff, right? Can't, because it's just going to be crazy. All right, so let's think about this. We got the Mercury-Jupiter opposition, all right? Sitting right there. There it is. There's that big T-square that I told you about. We've got red lines running from Saturn to Jupiter to Mercury. Our answer for this happens to be in Virgo, all right? So this is the organization. This is where the details matter. This is where the cool logic applies. We can't let the passions, Mars in Leo, build up too high. We've got to contain that just a little bit. And we contain it with this cool trine with Saturn and Jupiter. It's like, hey, slow your roll, man. Slow your roll. We're going to come to a point where we can just burst out and expand this, but we've got to control this, because by controlling this until Mars is ready to step into sovereignty, because that's a sign of sovereignty, right? Mars, sovereignty. Leo, sovereignty. Mars is coming back to this point, and that's really what we're gearing up for, is when Mars comes back to this point. It's not really going to be just about April, May. That's when we're going to be doing it. So we're going to be building up what it is that we have to be working on. And now, we're going to finish stronger with Mars energy. That is correct, because if you look right here, here is that trine. The moon comes into the position with the north node, and that's where we start to see this trine action. And that's where it really becomes, like, in our mind, that's where it is. Now, here's one of those vexing squares that I talked about, which is Uranus and Venus. That's where we rein the money in. That's where we had to be careful. That's where we've had to watch what we're doing, take care of the family and stuff like that. Now, you can see that Venus has already run almost all the way through Aquarius. As a matter of fact, next week she'll be entering Pisces, okay? She's going to be going retrograde fairly soon, and I believe it is, I can't even remember. Watch the short for it, okay? Because there's a short that's going to be coming for that particular aspect. And that's what I got for you. All right, so let's get off the camera here, because there's some things that we do want to talk about. There we go. Podcast is on YouTube or at daily-astrocat.com or anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and click the bell, ring the bell, subscribe, receive notifications, right? Thank you very much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. Happy astrocatting.